Hello, and welcome to Nosy Bystanders Live. I am your host, Chief Nosy Bystander, and today we're talking about more updates on this very incredibly bizarre case involving four Americans who traveled to Mexico so one of their friends could get an elective surgery, which happened to be a tummy tuck. It was tummy tuck. People keep saying BBL. It was a simple tummy tuck. So more details about this case are coming out, and there's two articles published. CNN updated their article, and then the Daily Mail jumped in on it. So we're going to get to both of those articles because they're strange. Okay. Now, yesterday I tried to give this whole story the benefit of the doubt, but the more and more I read through the comment section, the more and more I thought it was crazy. Some people were just speculating a lot of stuff that actually made more sense than whatever's coming out about this story, and that includes the fifth person who was there, because I don't know if we talked about it yesterday, but there was a fifth person who stayed behind at a hotel, and she couldn't find her ID. Bizarre. So we're gonna get to those details. I don't know if we got into those yesterday, but honey child, there was a fifth person involved in this trip. She just didn't get across the border. She stayed back at the Motel 6, and she claimed that she didn't have her ID on her, so she couldn't cross the border. That's not the crazy part about her story that she told CNN. The crazy part about her story is that she said when they didn't answer their phones, she called the local police in Brownville, Texas, and said, "Hey, can you check the jails?" Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Let's see who's all in the building. Hello, Courtney. Hello, Shug. Hello, Brenna. Hello, Just Bougie. What's up, Quanda? Hello, Kat. Said, what's up, Nosy Cousins with a K? Hello, Tynesha. Hello, Amber. Hello, Mabu Roberts. I don't know if I've ever seen her before. Welcome. Says, so it's being rumored that they were there really to buy pills. So what's really going on? We're gonna get to those details, Mabu. We're gonna get to those details. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Tiffany. Hello, Kim. Let's see if anybody here's from Facebook. Um, uh, S. Renee. What's up, S. Renee? How you doing today? Hello, Lori. Hello, Parrish. Hello, Annie Jenkins says hello. Here for night number 2. Okay, Annie. What's up, Yada? Hello, Greatness. How you doing today? Hello, Jess. What's up, Blaze 106.91? How you doing today? Hello, Smoking Scrubs. Smoking Scrubs. Does that mean you're a nurse that smoke weed? Is that what that means? Hello, Melon. Mama says, a side note, the pic of Latavia don't look nothing like her. Elaborate, Melanin. Elaborate. Hello, Leah. Hello, Lady T. Hello, Meeks be chatting. Hello, Lady Luck. How you doing today? Hello, DL. Hello, Mama Bree. Hello, Regina. What's up, Sophie? Hello, Jacqueline, all the way from Facebook. Hello, Quema. Hello, peace, love, and joy. Hello, Tracy. Tracy Bishop says, hey, cousins. What's up, Tracy? Hello, Chaz Princeton. Hello, Shan. And I think I got that. Hello, Valerie. Hello, Keisha. What's up, Alicia? Says hello. Hello, Alexis. What's up, Auntie Tonisha? Hello, MP Naturals. What's up, Jericho? Says, have you watched SVU and Escape Show yet? I have not. I don't know if that was for me because I got here later, but and Broderick, I see you here. Hello, Broderick. Hello, Virgil. How you doing today? Hello, Bo Lady. Hello, Danny. Hello, Can. Spot says, we in here. Okay, Can. We in here. Hello, Dion. Hello, the Whitney T. What's up, Cammy? Hello, Kels. Hello, Jacqueline. Present and ready. And if I didn't get to you, I apologize. But we got a lot to get through. Okay. You said the pic on the news doesn't look like her. It looks like her Facebook page, but again, that's with filters and makeup and all kinds of stuff. But I think it's her. I think it's her. I think it's her. So I want to get to the first article. Let me share my screen. This one comes from the Daily Mail, but we're not going to read the Daily Mail article first. We're going to actually read this one from CNN. I want to read this one. This is the updated one. So let's get to the CNN article. Now, CNN had updated it. It says, follow live updates. It says the discovery of the Americans' whereabouts comes after 4 days. 4 of them were abducted at gunpoint in Matamoros. I hope I'm saying that right. In a case of mistaken identity, allegedly. We don't know if it was a case of mistaken identity. I'm not going with that narrative, but we are going to read it as is. Okay. It says a tight-knit group of friends traveled from South Carolina to Washington, and we know that. What we learned today was that they arrested someone. So a 24-year-old man who officials have identified as Jose N., was detained in the connection of the kidnapping plot. It was a plot. Investigators believe the Americans were targeted by the Mexican cartel and likely mistaken for Haitian drug smugglers. Also, too, I don't think we know this, but an innocent bystander was also killed. Just a random person who lived in the town was also killed. I want to get to the rest of this article because it's in depth. It says the Mexican official displayed a timeline and search, including photos and cars believed to be used by the kidnappers before they were found Tuesday morning. Mexican Security Secretary Rosa Rodriguez said the authorities in Mexico have been in constant communication with U.S. ambassadors and U.S. officials since Sunday. The trip was a second trip for McGee, a mother of 6. Now, here's the thing. We don't know if she ever came. This was the same town she came to. And that's what I'm curious about. If she came back twice. We talked about this yesterday, but I want to get to the portion of it where she discusses the 5th person. I think it's in this article. Her name was Cheryl Orange. Hold on, let me pull it up. Hold on one second. Let me do a quick search in the article. Okay. Hold on. They're making it really difficult to find in this article. Let me just pull up a different one. Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm going to share this screen. Hold on. Okay, so this is a different one because the CNN article is making it incredibly hard to find. So it says Orange, her name is Cheryl Orange, stayed behind in the motel in Brownsville, Texas, and said that she grew concerned as hours passed and she didn't hear from the others. The 5 friends had driven in a rented minivan from South Carolina on Thursday to the southern tip of Texas, according to police reports based on Orange's account. 4 of them left Friday morning at 8 a.m. to go to Mexico. Orange's statement and the reports offer the most detailed account so far, which would lead up to the kidnap that McGee and another friend whisked away by U.S. hospitals on Tuesday after the Mexican authorities rescued them and found their bodies of their 2 friends in a wooded shack in the outskirts of Matamoros. The attack in Matamoros also left a Mexican woman dead. Orange told the police she didn't cross the border because she didn't have her identification. She said that she could not talk when contacted by the Associated Press because she was waiting a call from McGee, who was to be released in the hospital in Brownville. The other wounded American, Eric Williams, was also being treated at the hospital for a gunshot wound in his leg. That's weird. And let me highlight it in case y'all didn't see it. She says here, Orange says she said she could not talk when she was contacted by the Associated Press because she said she needed to talk to McGee first, who's in the hospital. McGee is Latavia, the one who went down there for the tummy tuck. Why you need to talk to her first? Why you need to talk to her first? For what? For what? That's unusual. And somehow this tiny publication, KREM, got that quote. She could not talk when contacted by the AP. AP is Associated Press because she was awaiting a call from McGee, who was to be released from the hospital in Brownville. Except like right in the buttermilk. Why? Do you gotta get your story together? Now, maybe she was waiting for McGee right? Because McGee's at a hospital in Brownville. Maybe she was waiting on a call from McGee so that she could pick her up from the hospital. That could make sense, right? That makes sense. So she's at the hospital. Her friend is still in Brownville at the Motel 6. And now she's waiting for her friend to get released from the hospital so she can pick her up. But why can't you talk to Associated Press? You ain't got call waiting. I know when I get extra calls, answer it. Be like, okay, girl, I'm on the phone with Associated Press. Let me come get you right now. American Zindel and Brown, and I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Saeed. I want to say it's Shaeed Woodward died in the attack. Orange confirmed via text that the friends went to the trip to accompany McGee for cosmetic surgery. She simply went for cosmetic surgery, and that's it. That's all. And this happened to them. Why are you so defensive? We just want to know. It's the defense, the unnecessary defense. She simply went for cosmetic surgery, and that's it. That's all. Now, a lot of people were sounding off in the comment section of one of my videos, and a lot of women who stated, yeah, I got tummy tucks. I've actually had a tummy tuck in Mexico. And I would have never thought of taking a 20-hour car ride to get a tummy tuck. Some women in the comment section stated, I barely could make a 3-hour flight, let alone a 20-hour drive. Because remember, when you're getting that type of elective surgery, you have to be lying flat down for the most part, specifically post-op. When you get a BBL, you can't sit on your butt. So, I'm trying to figure out how are they gonna position her in this van? Were they gonna take out the last, like, because the van, we're gonna take out the last seats, the last row of seats, and let her lay down? It doesn't. It's just I could see going to Mexico for the tummy tuck. I get it. It's affordable. The doctors are friendly. They're board certified, right? In Mexico. And a lot of people there are more success stories of plastic surgery in Mexico than there are of horror stories, right? There's horror stories here in America. So my question is, I get the tummy tuck in Mexico. What I don't get is the 20-hour car drive. But let me get to some of y'all comments because I hope you, because we got more to talk about. Okay, this is from Jazzy Old Lady here, and let me move my screen so I can see your comments. Says I thought the shooting was random. It was random, according to the FBI. But again, you guys, it just happened a few days ago, so that's all we know for right now. This from Greatness says, "What's really going on?" Child. This from Stephanie says, "Sound like a drug deal gone bad." My question is, why did they kidnap them? That's the part that doesn't make sense. Like, if it was a drug deal that went bad, right? Like, the cartel was like, oh, okay, we're gonna sell them this wooty wooty woo. Hold on. But we don't sell it, we just rob them. Why did you kidnap them and keep them alive for 4 days and move them from different house to house to house? What was that for? They weren't even trying to get a ransom. You know what I mean? Typically be like, okay, get their phones, call their loved ones, go get a ransom, you know? But there was nothing like that. So I'm just like, why did they take them? That's like not really cartel MO to take people. They just shoot you on sight. So I'm a little confused by that portion of it. Why did they take them? You know? Sounds like it, Jacqueline. This is from Melanin says, sounds like she had to make sure they were on the same page before she opened her mouth to the press. Yeah, but she already talked to CNN. So maybe like this from Melanin again says, you think they were smuggling stuff? I can't put that speculation without evidence. So I'm not even going to speculate something like that. This is from Tovania. Says, I thought she was getting a tummy tuck, but I hear it was a fifth person too. The fifth person did not cross the border with them. She goes by the name of Cheryl Orange, like the fruit. She did not cross the border with them because she didn't have her photo ID with her, so she couldn't cross the border, according to her. So we don't know that. She could have her photo ID. She probably just opted to not cross the border out of fear of something. But there was a fifth person. She was not getting surgery. The fifth person, she just came to accompany them. So that's all we know about that. This is from Shab Rimac. Says, I was just in Tijuana for surgery in December. Had a great time. Stay safe. Ciao. This is from Cal Freeman. Ciao. Says, right. She would have been crying in pain before they made it out of Mexico post-op. Yeah. This is from Irene Gutierrez. It's a great last name. Says, nah, I live down here. That does not happen out of the blue. Okay, so help me understand, Irene. So it's not a random thing that happens, right? People are just randomly. That's what I thought, right? Because yesterday we discussed it and someone said, well, maybe they were lost and they were doing a whole bunch of U turns and it was probably making people in the neighborhood nervous. Like, who is this American plate car making all these U turns into Mexico? It's probably something. And then they got shot up. But if you're saying that's not common, even for people who are lost tourists, then give us your synopsis of what you think it really was. From Natalie Council says, Chief, the young lady video you played from TikTok last night that lives in Mexico made some shocking discoveries as well on what the Mexican newspaper wrote as well. Okay, so she's my mutual on TikTok. That's great. So let me go to her videos and see if she made any other updates. Hold on, because then we got to get to Eric Williams. Eric Williams is the other one who survived, and we got to get to that article too. So let me go here. Hold on one second. Okay, let me go here. We'll just start from here. Okay. Posted a video about Latavia. She was one of the 4 African Americans who was kidnapped by the cartel once they crossed the Mexican border. I just try to present the facts and you make your own opinions based on what I present. So, of course, people are in my comment section saying, just admit it was a drug deal gone bad. I can't do that because I didn't read anything or see anything that said there was drugs involved. They mentioned medication, they mentioned surgery, they mentioned the cartel, but nothing specific to drugs. And yes, for the smart Alex, I know medication can be viewed as drugs. You know that's not the drugs we're talking about. Earlier when I posted the screenshot that Latavia's sister sent, this is what she received from the alleged doctor's office. People were just like, still drugs, it's just drugs, it's just drugs. Once again, I cannot say that because I was not in Matamoros. I did not see the drugs. What I can say is Latavia's doctor's office reached out to her on Facebook, not WhatsApp, not text message, not email, but on Facebook. I can also show this Facebook post where Latavia stated that she was going to see Dr. Roberto Chavez on February 23rd, 2023. I can also say that when people reached out to Dr. Roberto Chavez in Matamoros, he said that there was no appointment scheduled. That is what I can say. I mean, it's clear from previous posts from Latavia's Facebook that she really wanted a tummy tuck. It is clear that her mom said that she had gone several times to Mexico. She had. So let me pause it right there. What do you mean that there was no appointment scheduled? Why did the doctor say that? So what was she going there for? A consultation? And maybe that's where we're all confused, right? She wasn't going there for the actual elective surgery. She was probably simply going there for the consultation. But that's interesting. Let me finish the video. Received the BBL procedure. She had 6 kids, so we don't know if maybe the BBL went a little awry. We don't know that. I can just present the facts. See, exactamente way. So earlier I posted a video about. That's interesting. Just need a license to cross. Yeah, I know that much. I live on the border too. No, you live in Mexico, but I live on the border. So yeah, you do. But you can travel with or without. It depends on the border. I mean, there's only 4 port of entries that the United States deems as safe. The other 46 is free game. It is. It's free game. The woman, no, there were 5 people. 4 of them were ambushed. The 5th woman never crossed the border. So maybe en route, she realized she didn't have her driver's license. Maybe she realized she forgot it before they were going to cross the border. I'm not entirely sure, but there was a 5th woman and she didn't cross because she stated she didn't have her ID. Maybe it was, I don't know if the trip was sporadic or I'm there's more videos. Let's get to let's get to the other videos because. So I posted a video about a 5th person that had been riding with the 4 Americans who were kidnapped after crossing the Mexican border, right? So many people were in the comment section screaming, the news didn't say that. The news said there were only 4 people. Why are you spreading fake news? Hold on for a second. And that was 8 hours ago that I posted that. This is what I found 5 hours ago online. So this was an article I found online that was posted by the North Carolina Beat. Talks about the 5th person that was seen inside of a van of the U.S. citizens that were kidnapped in Mexico, and the wife of the survivor, which is Eric Williams. She speaks out. So the 5th. Okay, we'll get to the 5th person because she's going over something we're about to go over. But let me get to your comments and then let me share my screen on the next article. Okay, I want to get to you guys' comments because there was this story. The second portion of the story is even more confusing. This from Lewis Harris says, did the other lady drive in a separate car or was she in the van? She was in the van. She was in the van with them. They all drove from South Carolina to Brownsville, Texas, and they stayed at a Motel 6. The 5th woman, who goes by the name of Cheryl, she didn't bring her photo ID, so she couldn't cross the border. So she stayed at the Motel 6. And the other 4 took the car and they drove to Mexico. Okay, I hope that clears that up for everybody. This is from Pink Butterfly. Says something is off with the story. The cartel won't typically commit crimes against tourists. It's bad for business. So what was it? This from S. Renee says, I think they got involved over their head, believing they can cross over and do whatever biz that they were clocked by the cartel, and they were held because perhaps cartel thought they were working for a bigger organization, therefore holding them and unaliving them at that point. So here's my thing. What if, and this is just a guess. This is not, there's no education behind this. Okay. What if they were doing business with someone else over the border, allegedly? Right? What if they were doing business, quote unquote, with someone else selling them something? You know what I mean? And the cartel is like, you're doing business on our territory. You understand what I mean? So maybe they had nothing to do with those cartel members. Maybe they were doing business with other people across the border and the cartel got wind of it. You understand? Does that make sense? This from Miss J says, my friend had an appointment to go to the doctor and you do the consultation by pictures. You don't go in. So why would the doctor say there was no appointment scheduled? She was going in for, quote unquote, a tummy tuck. You would think they put her on the charts for that day. But if she had no appointment scheduled, why was the doctor giving her directions? If she didn't have an appointment, was she just going to pop into the doctor's office for like a walk-in visit? Not like for a tummy tuck, but maybe a walk-in visit for a consultation? That's why she wasn't on the schedule. She was just going to walk in there because the receptionist who manages the Facebook and their messages, she has to give directions to anybody who wants to come to their facility. You understand what I mean? Like, you understand what I'm trying to say? So anyway, I could DM them right now and be like, hey, what's your directions? And they could literally send them to me, even if I'm not on the books. right? Does that make sense to you? So the doctor said he want no smoke. He said she wasn't on the clock. She was just looking for directions. This from Sean Johnson. What's up, Sean? Says, when I was watching news earlier today, they said that it was rival cartels shooting at each other, and the four Americans got caught in the crosshairs allegedly. That's possible. Yes, I did see that, but I can't play it because of copyright infringement. But yes, I did see that. So if it was two, that doesn't make any sense. Here's why it doesn't make any sense, right? Not the Don Lemon interview. Here's why it doesn't make sense. How come the cartel didn't take the other woman who was caught in the crosshairs? You understand? There was a woman who was just on the street and she got hit by crosshairs, a Mexican woman from Matamoros. How come they didn't take her body? If they were just if the theory is they were just accidentally in between two rival gangs, right? Hold on one second. I gotta turn. I gotta turn the AC off because it's gonna buzz. Hold on, you guys. So that's the thing. How come they didn't take that random woman's body? Why did they take four black people? Why didn't they take that Mexican woman? You know? This from NG says, looking at her, she is overweight and does not look like a candidate for a tummy tuck. She told her family that she had a BBL before in Mexico. Girl, where? I think this article shows an image of her. I mean, on whose standards, right? When you say she's not a candidate for American doctor standards or Mexican, because they have every different board certified physician has their own standards on who they would operate on. You know, she just doesn't look super morbidly obese. You know, she looks like a candidate for a tummy tuck. She doesn't look overweight. She just looks thick. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? So, this from Reese969. What's up, Reese? Says, was she using that as an excuse to keep from telling the truth? Could be. You guys can you give me 2 seconds? I got a theory in my head. This is all alleged, and everything that I say is not based in anything other than what's cooking in my noodle. Okay? Got it? Clear? We're clear? This theory doesn't belong to anyone else. It or you guys. So I don't want people to be like, oh, the nosy bystanders are all cockamamie. They crossed the border. Okay. Let me get some still images up. Cause I my brain's thinking of something and it's not pretty. Okay. Let's get here. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Okay. So here it is. Here. Okay. Let me. Okay. Let me share my screen. So they. Oh no. Actually, you know what? Let me change that. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. So, and then I'm going to get into my theory. So we are, that's the Motel 6 and that's the border, right? The top is Motel 6, the bottom is the border. That's where they were staying. Okay. So they crossed the border because their friend says, "Hey, I'm going to go get a tummy tuck." Now that we know that she was messaging the doctor's office, we know that she had a signal on her phone. Because at first, people were speculating they were lost because they didn't have a signal, but that's not true. They had a signal because she was messaging the physician on Facebook, which indicates she has at least a cellular signal. So she does have a signal. And she messages the physician saying, "Hey, we're lost. Can you send us the directions?" The physician says, "Do you have a GPS?" And sends her the Google Maps signal or the Google Maps address. I hate to think this, but we got to throw it out there. Okay. Again, this is just a theory. What if it was a setup? What if it was a setup? What if it was a setup and everyone thought, let's just take everyone else out the equation who was in the car, right? Let's say everyone in the car thought they were going to help their friend with a tummy tuck procedure with her post op and driving her back home. But Latavia knows there is no surgery. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So she's telling her friends, "Oh, we're lost. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where it's at." Because she never clicked on that map that the physician said. I just want y'all to know she never clicked on that map. I'm going to go back to the video, but it didn't look like it didn't look like she had clicked on it. Hold on. Let's go back. She's standing in the way of it. You can't see. Why would she green screen herself on the image? But it doesn't look like she opened it. She didn't. So they sent her the directions and she never read them. So she's pretending to be lost. In actuality, she's not lost. So they don't know how to get to the hospital because they've never been there. But she's the one saying, "Oh, well, I don't know where the directions are. I don't got the directions. Let me message the hospital." The hospital or the doctor's office, like a normal doctor's office, when people call, like, "Hey, what's your directions? Here's the directions," right? Or sends her the directions. In my head, I'm thinking, was she setting her friends up? That's what I'm thinking. Was she setting her friends up? You understand? Because the way they were spraying that car, she should have been dead. This is from Mabu. Robert says, drug deal gone bad because I don't think it was a drug deal gone bad. Here, listen to what I'm trying to say. Okay? Listen to what I'm trying to say. It's not a drug deal gone bad. Do you guys remember the show Locked Up Abroad? Do you remember that show used to come on A&E? It was called Locked Up Abroad, and it was about these young teens or sometimes older people who would have a really nice trip in Fiji or have a really nice trip in, like, Tora Bora or Jamaica or Mexico or whatever. And then they got some drugs and they were able to get him back to America successfully. So they became like a drug runner. And then sometimes they get caught. Remember that show? You need to go back and watch that show because there are tons of episodes of the drug runners bringing their friends along unbeknownst to the friends and getting their friends caught up in okie dokes because they had a bad deal that went south. It happens all more than you think. So my question is, did the tummy tuck, we'll call her tummy tuck, did tummy tuck know what was going on the whole time and had her friends set up for an okie doke? Does that make sense to you? Because that one friend, Cheryl Orange, the one who stayed back at the hotel, the Motel 6 right here, I don't believe she didn't have her ID. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think she was like, I'm just not going to go. I don't know. I think she got a bad feeling. She's like, I'm just not going to. I lost my ID, so I can't cross the border. I think she knew something. I think she knew more than what she's talking about and telling, because there's no way you drove 20 hours without a photo ID. There's no way. So Cheryl knows something. Whether Cheryl knows something or whether Cheryl was like, I'm just not going to go. I'm just going to wait here. Because what was the point of waiting for? It's a trip to Mexico. Your friend's going to be there for a number of days post-op, you know? You can't even leave right after the surgery. You got to stay for a few days. So we're going to stay at a Motel 6 for a week while your friend was in post-rehabilitation and then she was able to safely cross the border? That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. And if her friends went with her to cross the border, did they not have clothes with them? It looked like they were just wearing their regular stuff. This one was going into elective surgery, quote unquote. So that's my question. Like, you understand? Like, come on now. This from Annie says, exactly. Who leaves their trip without an ID? Exactly. This from Topher on. What's up, Topher? Says, nah. How does she get checked in the hotel without an ID? Well, the hotel doesn't check you in. The hotel checks in the person who booked it. So it's easy for her to do that. But the whole 20 hours, you never dug in your purse to grab something and notice you didn't have your photo ID. Like, y'all not drinking and kicking it at the hotels? Because I know I would have been. And I know I would have had my ID. There's no way I'm driving 20 hours without at least a cocktail. So that's the part I'm not getting. Y'all didn't drink nothing. Y'all didn't go to a bar. Y'all didn't go to dinner. Y'all didn't get a cocktail. Nothing for 20 straight hours. Come on. This from Annie says, no bags, nothing. Make it make sense. Nothing. This from Double H. What's up, Double H? Says the fact that one guy's wife didn't even know he was going. Yes, let's get to that article. So I want to get to that article. Thank you for reminding me. And let me share my screen to the other article. This one here, it's by the Daily Mail. It says, wife of the man who survived the Mexican kidnapping didn't know that he was traveling there. She didn't know. Says the wife of the man who survived the kidnapping at gunpoint in Mexico has revealed she didn't even know her husband was traveling abroad. Eric Williams was found on Tuesday alive. Hold on, let me see. Let me stop this. He was found on Tuesday alive with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds to his legs. And after 5 days after he and his friends had been accosted at a Mexico cartel, it says Williams is now being treated for his wounds at a hospital in Texas on the border. That's Brownsville. His wife says that she didn't even know he was traveling out of the country. And it's him right here. He says, I didn't know he was traveling to Mexico. This is what she told WBTW. I just knew he was going somewhere to help 2 friends. So she only knew about 2 people, presumably the other 2 men. Did she not know about the other two women, or did she only know about the two women and didn't know about the other two men? Who are the two friends he was traveling with? Is what I'm curious about. It says here that she said that she had not heard from him since Friday, explaining how he texted her in the morning and I texted him back immediately. He didn't respond, Michelle revealed, and he didn't respond to her son either. So I'm going to assume that's when they were ambushed. She added, I highly doubt they thought this could happen to them. Mexico and American authorities have been searching for days for the four friends who traveled to the dangerous parts of Mexico to support Latavia for her tummy tuck surgery. Drastic footage showed her barefoot and covered in dirt. As she said, she and Williams were rescued from a dingy stash house on Tuesday, but McGee's cousin, that's her cousin, Saeed and Zendel Brown, did not survive. It says the video posted on social media the day showed the men were assault rifles and tan body armor loading the four into the bed of a white pickup truck in broad daylight. A woman now believed to be McGee could be seen getting into the pickup truck at gunpoint as another cartel member dragged a man across the sidewalk. Two other male victims had been just dumped in the vehicle, and it's unclear in the video whether they were passed away or were wounded. But Williams said she did not typically watch those kinds of videos, those kind of graphic videos on TV, so she had no idea that that video that was circulating across social media was her actual husband. She said it was so unreal. She said of the experience, I called the local police there and they confirmed it was him. I guess this is Latavia. It says Latavia was found uninjured after she and her cousin and two friends were kidnapped. The mother of five was seen here shoeless after surviving a traffic incident along with a friend, Eric Williams. This is her after her being found. It's got to be a miracle she didn't get touched. Before we finish the article, yeah, they did. This is from Terry Elizabeth Mike. Hello, Terry. All the way from Facebook says, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. South Carolina fools thinking they can just play with the cartel in Mexico. The story is not about a tummy tuck, but whatever. No, Terry, no, you're in the right place because most people don't believe it's about a tummy tuck either. Okay, most people don't. So you're not in the wrong spot for presuming that. So okay, this from Yenzi says it sounds like she set them up. It does. It's giving locked up abroad. It's giving locked up abroad. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I do. I really do hate to say it. I do. I feel bad. But the math has to math for me. And I'm not even a math major. I'm not even in college. Okay. But the math has to math, and the math is not mathing. Okay. It's not. Said stories unraveling fat quick. This is from When She Does It Herself. Great name, says catfish or profile by cartel. The locks and the men could have set it up to illegally detain them. Then out of fear, shoot. Lastly, the drug deal. Why only that car and kidnap and then kill over a language barrier? Exactly. Yeah, that's what it's sounding like. Also, too, like, I want to hear from that physician. That's what I want. I want to hear from that doctor. I want to hear from the doctor. I got to hear from the doctor because I need to know. I need to know from the doctor. Was she going there for a tummy? He said she was, like, I don't know if the doctor is just saying that so y'all can get out of his business, but he said that she never had anything on his appointment book, not even a consultation. So did she just Google plastic surgeon? Did she say, oh, I want to go get a tummy tuck, so you guys, I'm planning this trip to Mexico, we'll do what you will. Then when she, like, throughout the hours and days of them traveling there, did she just randomly Google plastic surgeon, Mexico, you know, because this would have been avoided had she flown into Mexico instead of crossing the border. This from Bo Lady says, that call to the cops got me thinking, because why not call the doctor? Right. So, but if you guys don't understand what Bo Lady's saying, the friend, the fifth person who stayed behind, said that um, she had called the local police and asked if her friends were in jail. But why didn't she call the doctor's office to see if her friends had arrived? That's a great question. Why didn't she call the doctor to see if her friends arrived? Like, hey, did they run out of a signal? Are they at the physician's office? Why would you immediately think to call the police to see if they're in jail? Why would you call the doctor's office to see if they arrived at it was 8 o'clock in the morning. Did the fifth person, did she even know the doctor's name? Did she even know the doctor's name? I don't think she had a blonde wig. I think she just had blonde braids. This from Pam Williams, all the way from Facebook. Hello, Pam. Says, I saw one of the victim's mothers on the news and she confirmed that they checked the doctor with Dr. Chavez. So okay, so at least family was aware of Dr. Chavez. Okay. Let me just look up something. Can you guys give me 2 seconds? Let me pull something up because I need to know. I'm trying to see. Okay. So in this area, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. There are only in this region alone here. So let me pull this up. There are only 6 plastic surgeons in this area. Dr. Roberto Chavez being one of them. Daniel Suarez is another. JR Aesthetic Surgery, and then Dr. Alvarez is another. And then right there, I can't pronounce whatever that is. This one right here. Right. So there's only 6 of them. 6 of them. So it's very simple if the family just called all 6 of these places. So I don't want to say that Latavia gave them the doctor's name and number. If they could not get a hold of any of them, it's very simple. It took me 2 seconds to pull this up. Be like, okay, my sister says she's getting surgery in this city in Mexico. There's only 5 plastic surgeons. She's got to be at one of these 5, you know? So I don't want to say that she gave them the information. They could have easily Googled it. It's only 5. It's not like she's looking for a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills where there's like 150,000. There's 5 surgeons here. So they could have easily said, she said she was going to this city and getting surgery. So it's simple just to call 5 doctors. And one of the 5 said, yeah, we actually did get a message from her and she was lost. And here's a screenshot of our messages. I'm curious if there's more conversation. And in my gut is telling me no. My gut is that when they were crossing the border and she needed to, whatever she needed to do, right? And they're like, okay, where's the doctor's office? She's scrambling. She's just messaging any random doctor in that area. It's like, oh, can I get directions? She doesn't even open the directions. So I know for a fact something's amiss. I know for a fact that something is amiss. When I look at, okay, so let's go back to these messages with the physician. The messages say, at the top, you're not going to see it, but I can. She says here at the top, Latavia says, okay, I'm going to do that. The physician says, and this is on Friday at 7:52 a.m., says, because if you don't have the money, they won't operate. Latavia says, okay. And then she says, I'm in Mexico. Now, mind you, that was at 7:52 a.m. And then at 9:52 a.m., she says, I'm in Mexico and I'm lost. The physician's office says, are you using a GPS? And then here, it shows her sending them the Google Maps information. Um, I need her to move. She's standing right there, and I need to know if Latavia read that message because there's a timestamp underneath here where it shows. Hold on, let me see if I can clear it up. It says 5:21 p.m. But I don't know if somebody read it because the girl who green screened it didn't move out of the way. So I can only assume someone read that message. She had to have, because why would the timestamp show up at the bottom? It says 5:21 p.m. So somebody read it. They said that they were ambushed at the ambush was at 9:18 a.m. It couldn't have been because how did she send them this message? I gotta look it up. I gotta look up when because some I saw a time somewhere where they said they were ambushed. Okay, let me pull up the CBS News article. Okay, this says I thought somewhere it said 7:18 a.m. I don't know why there's a plane here at night. Hold on. I'm trying to look it up. I can't remember where it was, but somewhere on one of these articles it gave an exact time because they used the security footage from that video. Hold on one moment. I thought I saw a timestamp. I can't find it. Sheesh, I can't find it. God damn it. But there was a timestamp on one of these articles, and I think it says 7:18 a.m. And people were like, oh no, it couldn't have happened that early. Here it is. The group crossed into Mexico at 9:18 a.m. After being lost on their way to the clinic, the friend reached out to the doctor. Hold on, let me go back to Google Maps. Okay, because that doesn't make any sense. Where's the border? Okay, I'm not, let me pull up Google Maps. This doesn't even make any sense. So here is the path. They left the Motel 6. This is where they were staying at, and they traveled, right? Crossing the Rio Grande. Now they could have took, it's only a 23-minute drive, you guys. In my head, I was thinking it was like an hour. Okay, let me zoom in. Here's the border. So they could have crossed this way to get to the doctor's office. They could have taken 69 East, that route 69 East. They could have crossed down here, which was a different route, or they could have crossed. I need to look at the physician's office. This can't be no doctor's office. Is it this? Is it this? Is this his office? That can't be his office. Is that his office? I need to. Child, where was they going? Get me in closer. This is his office. That doesn't make any sense. What the hell? Yo. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Let me go back down the street. Let me go back down the street. Maybe we didn't skip the doctor's office. Okay. Okay, let me turn this way. Okay. Is he on this sign? No, he's not on this sign. So where's the doctor's office? Hold on. Where is the doctor's office? There's something. Okay. Okay. What does that, am I blind? Does anybody see a doctor's office, or it ain't, I don't think it's that off. Okay, let me try one more time. Okay. So here's, it's saying it's first of all, it's saying it's this building right here. But why is it saying this? I gotta pull it up on my phone, you guys. Hold on. Oh, it's saying it's this. This right here. This, I could see you getting lost. This is his office. It looks like a house. This looks like a house, but yeah, this is it. 15C Luis Calabria Avenue. This is him. This is his office. It doesn't look like a plastic surgeon's office, but this is his office right here. This is where she was. I could see how she could have gotten lost trying to find this little tiny, it's a hole in the wall. I mean, but they don't really have a whole lot of identifying markers that this is his place. You know what I mean? Like it's literally next to a shack, a shanty, if you will. I would have never thought that this was a doctor's office. Like this is not it. And maybe this is part of it. I mean, there's garbage on the street. So, what is this place? Nope, this is a cafe, a decor cafe. So he's in the back of the cafe. That still seems sus. That seems sus. Let me get to some of y'all comments before we finish that article. That seems this is not the let me show you the doctor's office. I don't want to leave it here because this is not his office. This is his office. Right here. Where this black Mazda is. This is his office right here. This is what they were looking for. Okay, this is from Lexi Glow. What's up? Lexi says, no, ma'am. Her what is that? We don't need to go back down that street, child. It's a pop-up shop. This from Soothington Sound said that looks like a little tiny cover-up spot for some other kind of business, not doctor's office. Is this where they're supposed to be performing, cutting people open, doing surgeries? Now, maybe it's a lot more deeper than it looks, but this is his office because this is his address. It's 15C Luis Caballero. This is him. And the rest of this is a restaurant. So he doesn't own the rest of this building. It's just this right here. So maybe they were all getting set up on an okey doke. You know what I mean? Maybe it was everybody was getting set up, you know? It's possible. Maybe everybody was getting set up because they couldn't find it. And even when you look at the street where it's on, like the main street, it's hard. This is a hard place to find. Yeah. It's a hard place to find. Because look at the message. Now that you say that, Justilia, I don't know how to pronounce your name. This is the message between Latavia and the doctor's office. And look what it says. She says, okay, I'm okay. She says, okay, I'm doing that. Then the physician's office, I guess the receptionist says, because if you don't have the money, they won't operate. She says, okay, I'm in Mexico and I'm lost. Do you think the doctor was setting him up for the okey doke? You think that was the, because it's a tiny doctor's office and it don't look like there's a whole lot of splicing and chopping. What's up, Sergeant King? How you doing? Says, hell to the no. This is from Jacqueline Harrison. Hello, Jacqueline. Says it's not going to be a fabulous location. That's why the surgery is cut rate. Also true. This from Deandra says, I'll pay a little extra for American regulations and standards. Raw. This is from Ms. Monique says, no wonder she has so many men with her. I wouldn't go by myself either. Same. This from Foreign Angie. Foreign Angie says, maybe the doctor was doing some inside work too. That's possible. Because then why did he tell the press, oh, she didn't have anything on the calendar? But you messaging her talking about money. So you not scheduling time for somebody who about to hand you a boatload of cash? You know? Maybe this is the thing. Maybe the doctor gives approvals to everyone. knowing that some people may not be candidates for surgery, and then he gets them over the border, takes their money, sets them up for okey dokes, and then just sends them on their way. You understand what I mean? Because why does he want cash? And maybe the cartel is aware of what these surgeons do, and they try to stop you and get the money before you get to the surgeon's office. You understand what I mean? So imagine if there's 2 points that you need to there's one point you need to get to, and organized, you know, gang members are like, oh, this person getting money. So I know people cross the border to come see him casually to get surgeries, nose jobs, tummy tucks, Botox, whatever, lip fillers. And the cartel's like, well, selling drugs doesn't work because drugs are basically legalized everywhere. And, there's no point in getting into the weed business, right? So let's just start intersecting on these doctors' jobs. You understand what I'm trying to say? And they just intersect people at the border randomly because they know that they're coming with cash. That is what sounds plausible. That the cartel is simply jumping in the way of the doctors getting their money, stopping people at the border. Because they know that when people are crossing the border, they're coming to see all those doctors. They know that for a fact. Those doctors are getting money. So they're just intersecting in front of them, It's like when a train derails and the train has a bunch of, winter coats and stuff from TJ Maxx. People just loot the train. They're like, train's already derailed. I'm about to go loot it. You understand what I'm trying to talk about? Doctor talking in code. You think the doctor's talking in code? You think the doctor's talking in code? If you don't have the money, if you don't have the cash, we won't operate. You think so? So is he the plug? He's a doctor. He does have access to a whole lot of drugs. Yeah, that's possible. Right. Right, geniality. Makes you wonder what the conversation was before that. Because the doctor was all too quick to give up that screenshot of their last conversation. The receptionist, she was all too quick to give that up. Show us the rest of the conversation. Or is the doctor the plug? Is the doctor the plug? Mm. Interesting. Interesting. Let's get back to this other article by the Daily Mail. We got to get back to this one about the wife who didn't know that her husband was going overseas. Or she didn't know her husband was going with her friend to get a tummy tuck. So we stopped off here where she says she had not heard from him since Friday, and she had texted him. We got that part. She said that she didn't see the news articles, and we stopped here at Latavia being rescued by Mexican officials. She says she also noted that she was able to speak with her husband again Tuesday morning as he was being transported to the hospital. During the phone call, he said he had gotten shot twice in the leg and once in the other one. Oof. How did he survive 5 days? Still, he's expected to be able to walk. Williams said she is now happy and thankful that her husband is okay and being treated for his wounds in Brownville Valley Regional Hospital in Texas. But I'm also broken that the other two families can't say the same. McGee's mother, Barbara Burgess, told ABC 15 on Tuesday evening that she had spoken with her daughter, who was in shock but unharmed. She's alive, I think. The nurse, she's alive. I talked to the nurse. The nurses at the hospital called to let me know to talk to her. She was crying and asking her how she was doing, and she was doing okay. She was crying because her brother got killed, and she watched him pass. She watched two of them pass, and they passed in front of her. Burgess also thanked well wishes for their support. I appreciate the prayers. I thank them for praying because that's what I had needed. Prayer, prayer, it will change things. It worked out, and prayer, you believe in it, and it will work. It did for me because I was praying for my daughter, and I know she was coming home. I knew it. I didn't know when and what time, but I knew she was coming. She does not look like a candidate for a tummy tuck. She doesn't have enough loose skin for a tummy tuck. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've seen enough plastic surgery shows to know she ain't got enough loose skin for them to do a successful tummy tuck. There's another image of her here. I'll blow it up so you guys can see it a little bit clearer. And Eric Williams here and Latavia here. Guillotine wiped away her tears with tissue as Williams, who was shot in the legs, was also surviving the ordeal and was treated in the back of the emergency vehicle. The images of McGee emerged from captivity were still taken to a stash house in a rural area of El Telecote. I hope I'm saying that right. 6.5 miles from Matamoros, where the group was found. At least one person has been arrested. Thank God. It says at least one person has been arrested in the connection with this. And then it says they were then delivered to the U.S. Consulate's office in a press conference on Tuesday afternoon. The governor of Tamaulipas, I hope I'm saying that right, who goes by the name of Villarreal Anaya, who broke news of the two surviving Americans as a separate press conference in the morning, confirmed the identity of the person arrested. 24-year-old Jose N. was arrested. He was charged with monitoring the victims, and he said nothing, noting the victims were found in a house near a place along the La Guniona. I don't know how to pronounce these towns, y'all. I'm not even going to butcher them. In this town in Mexico. During the 3 days after the criminal act, the 4 people were transported to various places, including a clinic, in order to create confusion and avoid rescue. Officials in Mexico would not confirm whether the person detained in relation to the kidnapping is related to the criminal organization Gulf Cartel, which is known to operate in that region. The child. Mexican officials said that the group arrived in Matamoros. The Mexican said that the group arrived in Matamoros at 9:45 and were caught up in a terrifying ambush hours after arriving in town at around 11:45. What time did she text? They couldn't have arrived. They arrived in Mexico at 9:18. She texted the doctor's office at 9:22 and said, "I'm lost." So they didn't arrive in Mexico at 9:45. They were already there. It was only a 23-minute drive from their hotel to the doctor's office. It says, and were caught up in a terrifying ambush hours after arriving. There's no way. You telling me they was lost for 2 hours? That don't even add up. If the ambush happened at 11:45 in the morning, she texted the doctor's office at 9:22 and said, "I'm lost." You were driving around in a circle for 2 hours? I don't believe it. Ain't the town is too tiny to be lost. It's right. The doctor's office is right on the border. The math ain't mathing. It's not. You said it's possible, and it is possible, but there's no way. If you were lost for 2 hours, you should have crossed back over the border to get your bearings together. There's no way someone's driving for 2 hours to find this tiny little doctor's office that's less than a stone's throw from the border. You can't be that lost. We're lost. But it's not like she was already in the neighborhood. It's not like she was driving from, Dallas, Texas to the doctor's office and she got lost with no GPS. She's already in the city. You can't be that lost. It's almost impossible. They could have pulled over and got out and walked. Did she? No, she didn't text the doctor when she got there. She said, "I'm in Mexico." Let me show you the message again. "I'm in Mexico. I'm lost." This is what she says. She's in Mexico, according to her. And she said, "I'm lost." The doctor's office said, "Are you using a GPS? Here's our location." Because it's impossible to get lost. Now bring back MapQuest. This is from Muwu Bay. Says crossing back over sometimes takes more than 2 hours to get across unless you have Sentry. This is from Chriselle Turner. Says her mom said that she had been there before, so she should have had an idea where it was located. She was in Mexico before, but there is no word if she was in this city before. We only know she was in Mexico before, but we don't know if she was in this specific city. No, we can't. Right? If your picture said she was lost, I'd be like, okay, let me just walk outside. I could probably see you. What street are you on? I guess so. Unless somebody was stalling for time. Unless somebody was stalling for time. And the person driving is asking Latavia, did the doctor message you back? Did you get the directions? Where is it? And Latavia saying, oh, I'm waiting for the doctor to get back to me. She hasn't sent the directions. She was stalling. She was stalling. And I don't know why. It's a 23-minute drive from your hotel to the doctor's office. And even if you got lost, it would take you no more than 10 minutes to find that place. Even lost. And we found it, and we're not even there. That's why the doctor asked, are you using a GPS? Or, like, how are you just going based off memory? Well, how do you even know where we are? And then 2 hours later, you get ambushed. The doctor gave you the directions. Somebody was stalling. I don't know if it was the doctor stalling and she gave her the directions late. I don't know if Latavia got the directions late. I don't know if Latavia didn't open her messages. But if the attack happened at 11:45 and you messaged the doctor's office at 9:22 for directions, it shouldn't have taken you over 2 hours to find that little tiny shack. No, she never did. She didn't have her photo ID, so she stayed at the hotel. This from 15 DeBoss says, see, how she's using a GPS but lost in a small town like that. You can't be. It's darn near impossible. There's no way. There's no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. No, there's no way. Mm-mm. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. I'm not. I think somebody was stalling. If this girl would to move her body to the side so we could see the screenshots, we could see if it was read or seen or when it was sent. But for some strange reason, some people just don't know how to take green screen videos and just park themselves in a place that they don't need to be. So we can't see the bottom of that message, whether it was read or seen or when it was delivered. This one, Sergeant King says, did they already have the drugs before the attack? We don't know about any drugs at all. We're just trying to put this story together, and there's a lot of holes like Swiss cheese. This is from S. Renee says, and they didn't stop and ask anyone for directions. That place looked busy. It's a border town. You know how busy that place is? You could have simply stopped and asked someone, hey, do you know Dr. Chavez? It would even be like that way. It doesn't make sense. This from 15 to Boss says usually there's a nurse or someone assisting the doctor who may pick up the patients. That's another thing that was weird. Why didn't the doctor come out and get them? Something stinks. Yeah. Yeah. This is from Moo Woo says women usually go get these surgeries with at least one other female, not all men. I think she was there so the guys would look less sketchy. Wasn't Shaquilla Robinson from the Carolinas also? Yeah, she was from she was from North Carolina, Charlotte, the Charlotte area. This is from Tavania says, I think the fifth person had to stay at the hotel in the event they didn't come back. Look at the video. Her body language said she knew the shooter or had some dealing with them. I'm going to look at it, but I'm not going to play it here because it's entirely too graphic to play. So I'm sorry. So I'm going to look at it and review it. Give me 1 second. No, they threw her in that car. She didn't look like she knew them. I mean, they threw her in the back of that truck. Yeah. There's no way she knew them. There's no way. They flung her in there. I'm just trying to figure out why they didn't kill them. What was the point of taking them? That is the part of the story that makes absolutely zero sense. Yeah, no, I don't think she had anything to do with it. This from Jeannie Alley says, message her to ask if that message was read. Message her. I don't know what her name is on Facebook. This is from Bon Linda says, I'm baffled at how quick our law enforcement got involved. They have to. It's U.S. citizens, you guys. They may not like us over here, but when things happen to us overseas, they have to go and get us. Does that make sense? This is from Malika of Truth says, the press was just released all four of their criminal backgrounds. They all four have criminal backgrounds. Let's look. Not that that matters. The Daily Mail is just, I'm gonna pull the article. Give me a second. Let me pull it. Here it is. This is the article. It says 4 Americans in Mexico kidnapping had lengthy rap sheets. Male survivor sold crack outside of school. They are just heinous. One of the men who was brutally murdered was busted for drug manufacturing. A woman was indicted after her daughter, 8-year-old, tested positive for amphetamines. Yikes. 4 of the citizens who were kidnapped in Mexico for the notorious, sorry, y'all, you guys see my cleavage, for the notorious criminal drug syndicate, the Gulf Cartel, had lengthy criminal rap sheets. It says Latavia McGee, Eric Williams, and Zendel Brown, and I think it's Shaid, I think that's his name, Woodward, traveled across the Mexican border to Marahuatis on Friday, and they were caught up in a crossfire and abducted. Brown and Woodward didn't survive. The Daily Mail. I'm trying to pause this because ain't nobody trying to watch this. The DailyMail.com revealed that Williams had previously busted for distribution of near a school, while McGee had been slapped with unlawful conduct towards a child when her daughter had tested positive for amphetamines. Lord. Woodward was charged with the manufacturing of possession of and pled guilty, while Brown was also charged for the possession of and hashish. The 4 were found in a rundown shack near a place near that Mexican city I can't pronounce, about 6.5 miles where they were taken. Latavia had previously, is that why? Because they kept saying she had 6 kids, but then other reports said she only has 5. So maybe that daughter got taken from her custody because she had tested positive for amphetamines. It's possible. That is possible. It says here that Williams was jailed for 18 months in 2017 after being busted 12 months earlier for distributing outside of a school. His arrest affidavit obtained by the Daily Mail reveals he was caught in a sting by a confidential informant working for the Lake City Police Department in South Carolina and nailed by video evidence. Williams was charged with 2 counts of distribution base around March 1st of 2016, a distribution of proximity to a school. The county major Patrick Miles wrote on the first court arrest report that Williams did while on Carver Street in the city limits of Lake City lawfully and unlawfully violated the South Carolina drug law. Wow. I mean, it's lengthy. The rap sheet is lengthy. In addition to the incident in the yard of 345 Scott, the location of the defendant does not reside at the location. The officer also received numerous complaints of drug activity and prostitution. Williams was a teenager when he was charged with burglary. I want to get to Latavia and her child. Here it is. Okay. The kidnapped survivor Latavia Washington was indicted on March 3rd, 2016 on 5 counts of unlawful conduct toward a child, her daughter, who was 8 at the time. Her daughter's 15. The arrest said that the girl tested positive for drugs on March 2nd, 2016 after a sample of her hair was collected for analysis after social workers became involved in the child's welfare. Her hair? In order for it to show up in your hair, you have to ingest it. The child tested positive for amphetamines, cannabinoids, and native THC, an 8-year-old. It said the 5 counts said Washington placed the girl in unreasonable risk of harm affecting the child's life, physical and mental health or safety. Washington was given an original sentence of 5 years in jail, which was suspended. She was given credit of two served for the State Department of Corrections, put on probation for 3 years, and made subject to random drug and alcohol tests for at least 4 times a year. Sheesh. Woodward, who was killed in the horror, had a lengthy drug sheet, and records showed he had pled guilty to manufacturing and possession in 2015 and was sentenced to 100 days in January 2016, in which he was taken. He had time already served. Oof. Oof. This from El Luminegro says playing with that. Yes, honey, a shack. Simone says some other lady got scared and stayed back. Yeah, she did. The friend. Her name is Cheryl Orange, like the fruit. Cheryl. What's up, Minnesota Baby says I'm late to the party. I'll have to watch from the beginning after the live. Child, you'd have missed a whole bunch. A whole bunch. You think there were mules, El Luminegro? That's good to know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So they're all very well known. How was it in your daughter's hair? So 2017 wasn't that long ago, and yeah, I think we might have busted this case wide open. Yeah. But why did they take them? They could have just left them there. That's the part I'll never get. That's the part I'll never get. Why did they take them? Why didn't they just leave them? I'm stumped, y'all. That's the part I don't get. Now I feel they were probably mules. But what I can't get is why they took them. Why did they take? They could have just left them. This from El Luminegro says, my question, if we going to get a producer procedure done, why not have another female with you? 3 dudes? Nah. So there's a lot of questions, right? The first question is, right, why bring 3 men with you if you're getting procedure? The second question is, how did you get lost when you were in a small town? They got lost. They sent a message saying they got lost at 9:22 a.m. and the attack happened at 11:45 a.m. What were you doing in the meantime, in between time? You just think to park and just walk it, you know? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You said why drive? It didn't make sense to drive from South Carolina to Texas. No, they could have flown to Texas and just drove over the border. That makes sense because it's only 23 minutes from their hotel. But it didn't make sense to drive 20 hours. That part didn't make sense. And all of their rap sheets include drugs. Like, it's one thing to be like burglary this, and you're like, okay, we all have a past. But everyone is, and it's all amphetamines. It don't make sense. It could have been cheaper to drive, right? You got the car and only like $300 worth of gas versus $300 flight tickets for everyone. It just seems ridiculous, you know? But I get that. That's right, Reese. You can't. This from Greer James says, I wonder how the baby got drugs in her system and how they suspected it in the first place. You only can get it in your system if it's constantly around you by accidentally ingesting it. I don't think she was giving it to her daughter, but if she had large quantities of it around her house, There's a good chance her daughter, it got on her food or things of that nature. You see what I mean? But you got to have a lot of it around. And I do mean a lot. Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. Smash that like button, y'all. Don't be ignorant. Almost 500 of you in the building. This is from Rad Gal. Says, I still can't wrap my head around the doctor saying that she didn't have an appointment with them. I don't think he's lying. He just has a large following of women in the US who are his clients. Maybe that was an excuse, you know? Here's my thing. Either she knew she didn't have an appointment with him and she was using that as a cover. The doctor sells that, the doctor, the plug, if you will. Or she was going to do an impromptu, just pop up and see if she can get a consultation right then and there. It's possible. This from Dominique Brown says, Dominique, is that? Who's that in your profile picture? That Offset? Says, I can't see. I'm squinting. Says, I'm not a female, but I would assume after surgery, sitting in a car for 20 hours doesn't sound bright. It doesn't. Yeah, something is off. I don't know what it is, but I know it's something. And I know for a fact by tomorrow, this story is gonna blow up some more. Okay. So I know that for a fact. So this was a long show. There's a lot of details. So you guys, but that is all that I have for you today. We'll be back tomorrow every day, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, here at the Nosy Bystanders Live. I am your host, Chief Nosy Bystander, or Sosa, however you'd like to call me. And we'll be back tomorrow again, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, here on YouTube and Facebook at the Nosy Bystanders or Nosy Bystanders TV. Y'all, I'm going to just keep digging and see what I can find. And we'll be back tomorrow to dissect it some more. Okay? Come back. All right? If you're new here, welcome. And if you're old, smash the like button on your way out the door. Don't be ignorant. And don't be the cousins on our daddy's side. We didn't discuss this. Okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay? Bye-bye.